We're back for episode number 15. There's a torrential thunderstorm going on outside of my home studio here, office. So this should be interesting. If we make it all the way through this podcast, it will be a miracle. But here we are. Chris, how are you?
Yeah, we are back. I'm doing great. We haven't recorded in a little bit just because we had a little bit of a Labor Day break. How was your Labor Day weekend?
It was nice. There was a lot of rain in Florida, so I didn't do too much outside. I caught up and with a bunch of other stuff. So how was yours?
Yeah, it was solid. And then you sound like you lost your voice. You were just telling me you attended something fun.
Yep, went to a football game yesterday. I'm going to give everybody a little bit of advice. If you want to go to a football game in Florida in September at 1 o'clock, it's not a great idea. It's about 92 degrees. We had a lightning delay for an hour and a half. But the good thing about the lightning delay is clouds came over and it cooled it off and made it much better. So, but then I heard you went to a football game and it was considerably nicer, I bet.
No, actually, no, it wasn't. But you were watching my friend coach. No, he's not my friend, but former classmate Liam Cohen. I went to college with him, had a couple classes with him. Now the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is kind of funny.
Yep.
The Duval guy, for you guys that have seen that, that clip.
That's him.
Yes, I was at the Patriots game myself, and the weather was also terrible, but except it was 60 degrees and downpouring rain.
Oh wow!
The entire time, but that's not why everybody's listening to us today. So I guess we'll jump into it.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna let you had some great questions. You had some stuff you wanted to get into, so I'm gonna let you fire away.
It's a question. Yeah, it's a question we get all the time, and it's people that want to get started on LinkedIn or social media and start to craft things. And I always get asked, it's like, do I need to post every day? Is posting every day actually necessary? I want to see what you thought about that.
No, absolutely not. It's funny. Yeah. I've changed my mind on this a little bit. I used to say post as much as possible and throw out as much information as you possibly can. And then come to realize as the algorithms have been tweaked and they've utilized different types of analysis to figure out that if you want your information to go to that certain somebody or that certain ideal customer, they can make it happen. So I always say post as often as you would like or post the least amount that you would like. Whatever you do, just post.
Yep, I agree. I like to post every day, and it's no reason that I just like to. I don't think that it's in everybody's best interest at all. That may change for me at some point. I wanted to share a statistic got from Kinsta. Says that only 1% of LinkedIn users share content on a weekly basis.
Wow.
Which amounts to roughly 3 million weekly content posting users, which I thought was interesting. So I like that, 3 to 4 times a week, I think is a good high end for people. And I think 2 to 3 times a week would be a great goal.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I had some insane streak going like Seth Turnoff did, but I stopped posting on Sunday. I kind of just stopped, and sometimes I will, but most times I don't. And then I'm ready to go on Monday, and no longer I used to beat myself up. Oh, I didn't post today. What am I going to do? I don't. If I just say that day, I'm going, there's absolutely nothing interesting coming out of my mind. I'm just going to let today go by and on to the next day.
Yeah, and I wanted to share a thought that I have and I talk to people about, and I think you'll like this one, is you don't need to really post. You just need to engage, right? So if you're shy about posting and sharing your thoughts, whatever reason that is, professionally, you don't want to, be posting all the time because your company restrictions or whatnot, get out there and comment on some of the things that are in your ecosystem and clients you're trying to connect with or people that you're trying to connect with in whatever fashion. Comment, engage, send thoughtful messages that aren't like spammy, things like that.
Oh yeah, exactly. On some levels, maybe commenting and DMing and that kind of communication may may work great
More
for you.
effective.
Yeah, it's very effective, and maybe you do it for the first. Take that as your, your first 90 days that you've decided you want to, you want to create content. Maybe the content you create are DMs and messages, and it's the same thing. You're interacting.
Yeah, totally agree. And I mean, you can build a personal brand just by commenting and engaging thoughtfully with the people that you're trying to reach. So you don't need to worry about, I need to post and need to write all this stuff and whatnot. And I did some digging on some more statistics on content types that perform best. And I thought this was interesting, and I'm not surprised to see um, carousels outperform other formats about almost 300% engagement more than the next one, which is video content, but that's up almost 40% year over year in total views. So,
I was going to say, I was watching something last night from a creator named Dan Coe. His last name's Koe. He has a very interesting delivery style for you. For those of you who would like to watch somebody, um, I find him fascinating. I've had other people tell me I think this guy is the most boring guy on the face of the earth. I don't want to watch it. But anyway, he was talking about it last night in his video newsletter that social media is dying, and I'm going to get all of a sudden people are going to go, oh my gosh, what is Eric trying to talk about here? Um, he said social media is dying, which I think is a wonderful opportunity for people who want to create genuine content. And what he was essentially saying is that he's migrating to a newsletter type format, and that's what he's utilizing Substack. We utilize Beehive, but he was just talking about that the message that people are just kind of tuning out social media, and I don't find that to be the case at all. I do find it the case to be that there is a lot more traffic on social media that's not it is not created by humans, and so we'll see how that all comes about if people start tuning out. But I can tell you, on one of our primary platforms, and I'm now on LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, as well as X. I'm on them all. I can tell you, LinkedIn has the most genuine interactions that I have on any platform by far. Now, what do you
yeah.
see, Chris?
Yeah, no, that's why I think we love LinkedIn so much is because we have our awesome tribe of connections. I mean, you and I met on LinkedIn. I met Matthew on LinkedIn. You gravitate around the people that have the same common interests and goals, and it's more real of a connection than anything that I've ever had on Instagram or Twitter. Or I'm not much of a TikTok person. I go in there for a little bit for some industry education on customized medicine and peptides and longevity, things like that, to see what some up and coming doctors are doing and whatnot. But for the most part, in terms of my goals and connecting with people that I want to, whether that's business or personal, it's LinkedIn. And I think that there may be some truth to what Dan Coe's saying, and I do agree with his strategy of own. I think his ultimate message behind what he's saying is own your audience, right? So own your
Yep.
audience with the newsletter, own your audience with a community like school or any of those platforms. I get that, but I think that what happened, years ago when they said that, email was dead, and then the people that were just kept it genuine and still delivered great email messaging still are around because people fell off. So I think there's opportunity everywhere, and I think there's opportunity if you do it the right way. And it's what we teach. It's what we try to learn as we go, is to be the most authentic and genuine we can be based on our messaging and who we're trying to reach.
Yeah, and I'll tell I'm on all the platforms now, but there's something that I do that so I don't get to see, people on Instagram jumping off buildings and dying, or, people getting in fights or whatever. Is all you need to do is go into each one of those platforms and just search certain things. I search business marketing ideas, I search AI. You can really quick take your platform, whichever one you're on, and you'll get the information that you want, sparing the, tiger attacking the moose and whatever it is. There's all these crazy things that come up on these platforms. You can curtail all of that stuff, and you can really source what you want to source on it. And they're very valuable. There's a lot of valuable information on different platforms for sure. So anyway, that's my tip: to stop watching, world star fights that come up every other clip in Instagram.
No, I think that's great. There's different ways. I think, I'm finding when I use Instagram, because I still use Instagram for social selling funnels too, in terms of me trying to connect with different clinics and whatnot. In my line of customized medicine and peptides and whatnot, I mean, a lot of clinics are running advertisements and creating brands on Instagram, and don't see it as much on LinkedIn. So you just need to figure out where your avenue is for where you're trying to go. And I think that there's ways to do it in each, right? And I was just having this conversation with a doctor that's actually in our Content Crib RX cohort. We just met an hour ago, and we were talking about how you can take different paths and go down, right? So use YouTube to educate your patients on your therapies and what you're doing, because so many people are educating themselves on everything on YouTube, and you can get great video content for learning how to fix your house, to learning from a doctor on what they're treating in their clinic, and then use maybe LinkedIn to grow your KOL following or referral following with other doctor thought leaders. And then maybe you want to grow your clinic on Instagram as well, in terms of connecting with more ideal patients. So I think that you can stamp that blueprint with whatever industry you're in.
Yeah, you definitely can. And when you do, you will find it to be considerably more productive too. Because at night, it's interesting. If I'm not watching a live sporting event, I'm not watching television really of any other sort, and I'll just kind of scroll through this stuff and I learn. I mean, I'm taking notes, and no longer am I watching people out in Yellowstone approach buffaloes and get run over and things like that. Although that did pop up the other day, I couldn't believe it that still
Is
happened.
that show still good? I gave up on Yellowstone after I think season 2 or
Well, it's over now, but
okay.
it's yeah. So I guess it's officially over, is what it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I
Over.
guess. I
Oh,
guess. Yeah.
yeah. Well, you had some things you wanted to touch on with Content Crib and coming up blazingly fast.
Yeah, yeah. We are about a month away, which is crazy to think. We have secured Content Crib 6.0 is going to be March 20th and 21st. We're going to be back in Bentonville, Arkansas, and everybody's like, Bentonville, that's interesting. But everybody who goes to Bentonville is like, no, it's super cool. So we wanted someplace. So now we've done, I guess, four or five there now. Four or three. I'm sorry. It's centrally located. Every big hub flies to Bentonville, centrally located in the country. So that's kind of why we're going Bentonville. It's pretty. We got it pretty dialed in there. But yeah, so 6.0 is official. It is on the books, and so but 5.0 we're full. We don't have any more spots unless somebody says to us in the next month that they're not coming, which is really cool. Thank you for everybody who signed up.
Yeah, thank you.
But we're also looking for some more sponsors. If sponsorship is a possibility that you're thinking about, just reach out to myself or Chris, and we can tell you the specifics of that. We just got a really large sponsor who's going to be the flagship sponsor, the visionary partner sponsorship. So that's a lot of fun. A cool investment organization. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, what I love about Content Crib, I love a lot of things, but mainly it's learning and networking with the providers are there, healthcare entrepreneurs, learning what everyone's doing, but also being inspired by people that are crafting their voice or figuring out their message. I think that a lot of us are guilty of starting to craft our brand or narrow down like what we're passionate about and our purpose in life is, whether that's professionally with a company or as a healthcare entrepreneur or a surgeon. And I think when we get there, we start to learn from each other and build that messaging from scratch. And then we start to fine tune it with the different AI tools that we're going to be implementing. It's super interesting and super inspiring.
Yeah, it really is, and it's growing, and we're going to shoot for 6.0 to be probably going to bump up a little bit, maybe to go to 60, which will be exciting. And we definitely have the demand. I get requests about it all the time, which is really neat. And yeah, again, it's they just had the orthopreneurs meeting last weekend that went down, so that was got to see quite a bit of our brethren that went to that meeting. In fact, I heard a statistic that like 75 to 80% of the orthopreneur meeting was all content crib people as well, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it just goes to show the power of like the networking and how many different like verticals can come out of all the things that we're working on. It's powerful stuff. I mean, the networking alone, let alone all of the cool stuff that we learn and implement is amazing.
It really is. Yeah, I'm amazed by it. My wife said to me the other day, she was like, this weekend, she goes, "You guys don't realize what a just cool, powerful community you have." And I went, kind of thought about the word powerful, and I was like, yeah, you're right. It is pretty powerful. All the people that are sitting at that room. And I'll tell you the one thing that I love about Content Crib. I've been into a lot of meetings, and I'm not just touting the horn, tooting the horn here for everybody, but I've been to a lot of meetings where you got couple of those people that they just stand up and spout off, and you just like don't really want to listen to what they have to say, attendees. And there is the most humble group of people in one room that I've ever been around. And let me
Yeah,
tell
that
you,
is you nailed it.
they don't have to be humble. For a number of those people in that room, you know what, if you were arrogant or you had an extremely high opinion of yourself, I'd go, yep, yep, I can see that, no problem. Yep, you're a world famous neurosurgeon. You should. But no, down to earth, and just the humility is cool.
It's really crazy because I feel like every day we exist in this world that we're always running or ego dodging from different people, and then there is none of that. And maybe that the people that maybe have these big arrogant personalities actually go to this and then calm it down to learn. I don't know. They're doing a really good job of disguising it, but I don't think anybody really has any ulterior motive or any attitude at all. It's like everyone comes there to share and network and learn and put it to work and grow. It's great. And whenever I get someone new to convert and go to it, I just always get a big thank you. I never would have met this person. I never would have connected with this doctor, or I never would have connected to this clinic owner or this medical device company or this pharmaceutical therapy or whatever it is that they stumble upon it because they're taking the time to learn and network in a meaningful way with people that want to make a difference in healthcare, make a difference in the world around them in general.
Yeah. And I think at this meeting we're about 65% repeats, at which 35% are new, which is really cool. I mean, that's a cool stat. When I started going through it, I think we'll get to the day where we'll probably have a very high number of repeats. But at this point in time, we're just excited to get together next month, and it will be a lot of fun. I was talking to Matthew about it earlier today, and he was referencing the fact that we're all going to get together and chart our course with our different businesses, and whichever business is going to be very, very interactive, to the point where people are going to, our one meeting room, we're going to probably spend only about 15% of the meeting in that room, where everybody else is going to be branching out and going places and working on their stuff. So it's going to be a beautiful time in Bentonville in October. So we'll be able to go outside to that beautiful terrace we have, and it'll be cool.
Well, we'll give that voice a rest of yours, and
thank you.
I think this was a great episode. Yeah, that was awesome. I'm glad you pulled it together, but still doing the episode. This has been a good one.
Yeah. No, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you for letting me ramble on about with my voice, it makes me kind of sound like I'm got a deeper voice. So I don't know.
Hey, I think Jaguars are gonna have a better season than the Patriots this year anyway. Not that it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, no. I think Drake May's a good quarterback. I think he'll be all right.
Maybe watch the clips from yesterday after this podcast.
Okay,
you might change your mind.
Maybe I will. Yeah, we'll blame it on the rain.
All right, yeah. Well, that's a wrap. That's an episode. Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, bud. See ya.